welcome to the Narrowing Path, walking the spiritual walk. My name is Steve Van Eiderstein. Thank y'all for joining me again tonight as we do today's daily reading from James Allen's Daily Meditations. This, of course, will be fresh to you and fresh to me, meaning that this will be the first time that I hear or read the meditation right on this podcast with y'all. So you'll get my genuine response, reactions, observations, and what I relate to about the reading, of course. So let's see what October 1st has to bring us, guys, and see if it switches gears like normal at the beginning of the next month. So here we go. Let's get right to it. This is October 1st reading from James Allen's Daily Meditations. A man cannot cling to anything unless he believes in it. A belief always precedes action, and therefore a man's deeds in life are the fruit of his belief. He who believes in all those things that are good will love them and live in them. He who believes in all those things that are impure and selfish will love them and cling to them. The tree is known by its fruits. A man's beliefs about God, Jesus, and the Bible are one thing. His life, as bound up in his actions, is another. Therefore, a man's theological belief is of no consequence, but the thoughts which he harbors, his attitude of mind towards others, his actions, these, and these only, determine and demonstrate whether the belief of a man's heart is fixed in the false or the true. There are only two beliefs which vitally affect the life, and they are belief in good and belief in evil. All right, so actually, first of all, awesome reading. And it's a continuation from what we were reading yesterday. And let me just peek back at yesterday's real quick. The yesterday's I liked a lot as well because it was talking about doesn't really matter what you say you believe. Excuse me. Doesn't really matter what you say you believe. It's how you live, right? When our belief is a thing and a thing ceases, we can no longer cling to it or practice it. And then we go to here, right? It's kind of set the framework for today's actually. So we're having a carryover actually, which is new and for the beginning of the months. So that's interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing how far they take this one, and I love the reading. Honestly, just to be straight up about it, it's it expands on what we were talking about yesterday. So let's get into it. A man cannot cling to anything unless he believes in it, right? And it has to be a belief in it, not a. Seems like it might be a good idea. I'll give it a shot type thing. But you have to believe it. You have to believe it'll work. When you show up to the 12-step rooms, one of the biggest things you get is a belief that it works. Because you see other people where it's worked. You see other people who share about similar experiences you've had, similar feelings, similar low points. And they say that it's worked for them, right? You get hope. And you get belief. A little bit of faith that it could work for you too. So, a man cannot cling to anything unless he believes in it. Like, cling to, hold tightly to follow, without question or devoutly, maybe is a better way to say that. Belief always precedes action. It is. I had to believe in some way that I could live differently. And what I believed in was other people saying it. I believed in other people that said they had done it. When I first started getting into recovery, the God idea and this higher power thing didn't really jive with me too well. I had to have people that gave me an example. I had to have understandings. It was great, though. I'm so grateful for the people that showed up and were part of that. So, belief always precedes action. I had to have a belief. Therefore, a man's deeds in life are the fruits of his belief. And that's where the change starts happening, right? That's where things start to be different. Because you choose to live differently. Because you have a belief that you can live differently. That's how important this is. Belief always precedes action. Therefore, a man's deeds in life are the fruits of his belief. So, here we go. Belief inspires thought. Thought inspires action. Action inspires habit. Habit inspires life, circumstances, destiny, all these things. So, right where you are is your responsibility. Remember that. He who believes in all those things that are good will love them and live in them. Pretty straightforward. But he goes into this, and the reverse is also true. He who believes in those things that are impure and selfish will love them and cling to them. The tree is known by its fruits. What a way to end that sentence. So, whichever you choose to love, whichever you choose to cling to, it's up to you. You get the option. That's the beautiful thing about free will. That's the beautiful thing about choice, isn't it? You do get the option. You can cling to what's good, you can cling to what is evil, impure, and selfish. And whichever tree you're clinging to, whichever tree you're putting roots down with, you'll see the fruits of that show up in your life. You will see the outcomes. Whether you like it or not, the tree is known by its fruits. A man's belief about God, Jesus, and the Bible are one thing. I think we're going to go into, we go into a little bit of what we were talking about yesterday. You can give lip service to anything. You can believe that God, Jesus, in the Bible, you might have some belief. But this is the second part of this whole thing. They say this all the time: faith without works is dead. A man's belief about God, Jesus, and the Bible are one thing, and his life is bound up in his actions is another. Here we go. What does your life look like? If you believe those things, what does your life look like? What do your actions look like? What does your perspective look like? What does your tone and understanding look like? His life, as bound up in his actions, is another. Therefore, a man's theological belief is of no consequence. Whatever religion you believe in, that's fine. Doesn't matter. But the thoughts which he harbors, his attitude of mind towards others, and his action, these only determine and demonstrate whether the belief of a man's heart is fixed in the false or the true. Because what you covet or what you cling to, what you truly desire to possess, what you truly follow, will show up in your actions every time, whether you like it or not. What are the thoughts that you harbor? Are they resentful, judgmental, condemning, grandiose, self pitying? His attitude of mind towards others, again, judgmental, condemning, belittling, insulting, and his actions. How do you actually behave? What do you actually do? Do you live this life that you say you do? Or do you simply just push it all to the side? You just simply say, progress, not perfection, then just keep on loving your character defects. So, like, there's some real questions that need to be asked and observations that need to be made because these things, again, thoughts you harbor, attitude of mind towards others, and actions, these and these only determine and demonstrate whether the belief of a man's heart is fixed, the false or the true. Take a look at your own life. Have a self-examined life. Is that what Socrates said? Something like that. It reigns true, right? Take a look at what you're doing. Take a look at your understanding. If someone were to just look at what your thoughts were and your actions were all day, what would they think you cared about? What would they think you cling to? Right? Where's your heart fixed? The false or the true? These are good questions to ask. These types of readings and meditations are good checks for yourself. At least they are for me. So, all right, now the last line here. There are only two beliefs which vitally affect the life, and they are belief in good and belief in evil. Do you believe in good? Do you cling to the good? Do you strive for it? Is that part of your ideal? What are you working towards? These are the things to remember. These are the things to keep in mind. These are the things to understand. Do you believe in good or do you believe in evil? What are your thoughts, your attitude towards others, and actions say? Are you still being selfish and self-centered? Are you still being self-absorbed, self-indulgent, just looking for pleasure, looking to feel good? Because it'll say about what you actually care for. It'll say a lot about what you believe in. So, well, all right, there we go. And that is October 1st, everybody. Good way to open this up, right? Examine yourself and be honest about it. That's the biggest thing. You've got to be honest about these things. Sometimes you won't even know when you're lying, but be honest about them. So, thank you all for joining me again tonight, though, and I appreciate it greatly, more than you could know. And I'll be looking forward to tomorrow. So, until next time, thanks.